Hey there, guys. I've gotten some questions asking about what's a good build for the upcoming boss rush coming on Thursday, the Advent of Purgatory, I believe it's called. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my personal, initially planned team that I'm going to try to beat it with on Global. Now, after I get in there on Thursday, I may find out I have to change some things, so this might not be the final version of the party. But this is my initial plans, and I'll show you what I'm going to be using. Also, at the current time, I'm going to try to live stream my clears on Thursday morning. Of course, it always depends on what time the servers come up and, if what's going on. But I'm going to try to live stream my clears. That being said, I don't really expect it to be that challenging. It's overall, I've done it on JP. I'm kind of prepared. I'm kind of expecting to go in and clearing it in the first try. So it might be a short stream, but you never know. Maybe they buffed it. Maybe my plan doesn't work. But if nothing else, it'll be fun to sit there and, talk with chat a little bit on Thursday morning while I stream, if it works out. Anyway, about the clear. So this is the clear I'm going to be planning to try on Thursday. It handles most of what I'm looking for in the clear. We'll go over it unit by unit in a second. But, I'll probably be also doing alternative clears that don't use some of these units. I know, for example, Crimson Rain is a brand new unit. Not everyone has him. Stuff like that. But this is the initial plan, and we're going to be taking a Fundamental Force friend as well. So as you might have seen from my news video, you know that the trial does all kind of stuff. For example, AoE stop, a lot of status effects, AoE death. There is a single target charm, so we're not worried about charm resistance that much, only the Provoker needs to worry about that. But, yeah, and then the races are human, bird, dragon, machine, and aquatic. So this is where we're going to be going with. Also, I should mention, I didn't mention this in the news video, but these are actual literal grace trials, meaning each individual boss stage has its own special field of the Amplify for that stage. So, for example, when you're fighting Tato, there's going to be that 100% automatic battlefield effect where you have 100% fire amplify. When you move to Kokorayu, the field will update to water. And these stack with amplifies and they stack with your fields as well. It's that field in the middle. So, you don't have to, but you really want to, if possible, swap your party's element each boss. So you want to always use fire against the fire stages, lightning on the lightning stages, and water on the water stages. So that's what this party's all about. So as far as the builds, I'll show you. Now Rain is going to be our leader. As you see here, he does Brave Exvius. The whole party is Brave Exvius. So for our Fundamental Force, now as it turns out, she doesn't gear for these races as easily as you would hope. So we're not quite maxed out on all the killers. But so this is the build we're going to be using. So on my Esper, I've got Kokorayu, which gives 125 Aqua Killer. We've got some Clash gear. We're wearing Death Immunity. Now, honestly, Death Immunity is optional. The only AoE death is on, I think, either turn 3 or turn 4 of the Chaotic Darkness fight. So there's only one AoE death in the entire encounter. And that actually happens during a time you can't damage the boss anyway because of a Mighty Guard. So really, you could just AoE re-raise that death and not worry about gearing for it. That being said, my party is not bringing re-raise whatsoever. We're going for the no death mission. So for the no death mission, you have to have death immunity. And I want to do all missions, so we're gearing the whole party for death immunity. So death immunity here. We're using the Hero's Amulet for a little bit of Machine Killer because it's one of those that we don't gear for very easily. She's naturally Stop and Charm immune. She's naturally immune to all the statuses that matter. We can cure the ones that don't matter. And then as far as materias go, here's what we've got right here. And then we're using Ethne's card. Ethne card gives a little bit of Human and Dragon Killer. Also, we're using... Whoops. I didn't mean to do this. Hold on. We're using Serpent Slayer for 100% Dragon and 100% Aqua Killer. We're using A2's STMR for 100% Machine Killer. We're using Black Submarine for 75 Aqua and Machine. And we're using Final Stand for 50 Bird, 50 Machine. And our grand total is still not quite maxed out. So we're maxed out on Aqua. We're maxed on Human. We're maxed on Dragon. We're only at 275 Machine. That's honestly good enough. And you'll notice our Bird Killer is very, very low. That's probably going to be fine because Siren isn't that bad and Bird is only one stage. Siren is the first boss of the Grace of Water trial. So we'll just deal with not having good Bird Killer from that. Then we've got our Aang. Now, Aang is brought here. Oh, and by the way, I should mention... Fundamental Force is also our Human Killer buff. So she brings Human Killer AoE 150 and then self-only 200, which Zahn can spread to the rest of the party. And then she's also here for, damage, primarily damage. And she also has the Field Amplify for Fire and Lightning. Then we've got Aang. Oh, and AoE and Imbue Fire and Lightning. Then we've got Aang for our water support. We really want to use water damage on Leviathan, Kokoryu, and Siren. Aang will also bring the Killer for Bird Killer as well as our Dragon Killer. So he's going to be doing Bird Killer for the party and then Dragon Killer for the party. That's where we're getting those killers from. I know his build, again, he does not build for this very easily at all. His damage is going to be pretty unimpressive, but his field and buffing will be very helpful. So Death Immunity, Status Immune with the Moonshade, and then some killers, and then we gave him a card for more killers, and then we've got right here. So we're maxed on Aqua, and we're 250 Machine. Those are the two big ones, Aqua and Machine, and he's pretty good on those. He's maxed on Bird and Dragon as well. He's got terrible Human Killer, but again, for the human fights, they're not super bad. Only Kilma and Tato will kill those with the other units. Then we've got Crimson Night Rain. So his Esper is going to be on Bahamut for the killers. He is also going to be a backup magic tank. Now, we're going to mostly be tanking with Wilhelm with Omnicover. But like I mentioned in the news video, there are some turns where it may be a problem to refresh cover after a Dispel. I don't know. I'm not mapping my turns out. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to wing it in there. But if I get into a situation where all of a sudden Wilhelm gets dispelled and his Omnicover is not refreshed yet, then Rain can step in for a turn and cover until Wilhelm gets back online. But his gear, using, of course, the special Greatsword. Other than that, Chain Cap up, etc. And we're using Code of the Samurai and Chains of Strength. With premium units on Bahamut, that's literally 300 to every single killer. So he's maxed on every single killer, so that's help. Status immunity, and he's got stop immunity from Boy Brimming with Curiosity. It's a stop immunity materia. It is an old collaboration materia. If you don't have this, you want to give him stop immunity from another source. Either Garland's TMR, you need 2 of them in that case, or like a piece of equipment. You can also buff stop immunity. I don't want to waste turns buffing it, so everyone's going to be geared for stop immunity. And as far as Aang goes, by the way, he's naturally stop immune as well. But yeah, and there's Rain right there. Status immunity with Determined to Defeat the Empire, Noctis's card, and then Shift Form, geared identical. So yeah, he's going to be damage dealer, as well as he is going to be a backup 89% breaker and 88% attack and magic breaker. And then he's got his 89 defense and spirit break with Great Sword in Peril. Because Zahn is going to be pretty busy with other stuff most of the clear. Let's see here. And then Wilhelm and Zahn, they're pure support units. They're not going to deal any damage this clear. I'm just bringing them as support. So Wilhelm will, of course, give Overdrive to Aang and Fundamental. It won't go on Rain, but oh well. So Wilhelm is geared purely for bulk. I don't know if I need all this bulk. I might be over-preparing, but it can't hurt. So as far as his card, the best magic card, status immunity, bulk, like tower defense. Actually, we don't need status immunity. Tower defense is mostly for the resist all. Some spirit, full evasion because he is going to be omni covering. Resistances, death immunity, some clash gear. We're using sword and shield because pure bulk. And then his resistances, as you see here, are pretty high across the board. Water resist, water and ice being the big ones for covering Leviathan. Leviathan's going to be kind of irritating, so we got lots of water and ice resist. We're not really using almost any resist buffs in this clear. So, again, I'm winging it. This might be a problem, not having a resist buff. If it is a problem, I guess we'll have to fix that during the stream on Thursday. But my initial plan is hopefully Wilhelm is bulky enough to survive as it is. We'll have to see. And yeah, he's going to be a attack magic breaker, as well as he can also imbue himself with... Oh, actually, he does have resistance buffs. Oh, but not water buff. He doesn't have water resist, unfortunately. Yeah, water resist is the big one we're going to be missing out on. Oh, well. Yeah, so Wilhelm will be imbuing himself with fire and lightning that we can steal and spread with Zahn. Fundamental can do that as well, but for the most part, they're going to be busy doing other stuff. And then he also will be filling LB gauge with the Bar Aroja, Bar Blazeja, etc. I'm just realizing how much mana those LB fills cost. I didn't mean to click that. That was a mistake. I might give him... I'm going to do it right now because I don't think his bulk is super important. We're going to give him a 3 stars for the mana reduction. It is going to hurt his defense and spirit, but that's going to make these a lot more reasonable to spam every single turn because they're very expensive. So spamming it every turn to fill LB gauge for the party will be very helpful. Let's go ahead and change that for, on the fly. And then Zahn. Zahn is going to be in party slot 1. He is our passive provoker. He is on Lakshmi because you absolutely must have a Petrify resist buff. And because we're not using a dedicated supporter, we've got him on Lakshmi who can buff Petrify resist on Kokorayu and Leviathan. He's passive provoke, full evasion in slot 1. Death immune, he's naturally stop and charm immune. We gave him the Savior's chest piece to help out with healing for the party. And we gave him the Tome of Lakshmi, which gives him Kurega and a modifier buff for Kurega, which will make it heal for 30,000 per cast. And we gave him dual cast. So he's going to be our healer. Now, do we need all that? I don't know. We'll find out. But, he's going to be healing. So full evasion, escape artist, heavy armor mastery so that we can wear the Saviors, status immune, and then a bulk card because why not? So the goal is for Wilhelm to cover everything, but some things might bypass cover. I don't know. So Zahn will be our machine killer for all the machine bosses with Master Dismantler and then spreading it with his projected mirror. He'll also steal buffs and spread those during the clear. He'll be a backup breaker. He'll be the Imperil fields and all that. He's not going to be dealing damage here. So we've got, redundancy on breaks, attack and magic with Rain and Wilhelm. We've got redundancy on defense and spirit breaks with Zahn and Rain. We've got water support with Aang. We've got fire and lightning support with both Fundamental when they have a free turn, as well as Wilhelm, which Zahn can steal and spread. We've got Human Killer from Fundamental, Bird and Dragon Killer from Aang, Machine Killer from Zahn. So you might be wondering, wait a minute, where's the Aqua Killer? We don't have any Aqua Killer whatsoever in this clear. If you have the special card, I think it's the Luca card from a previous step up, that can give you 250 Aqua Killer on Zahn, which he can spread to the party. I don't have that card, and I'm not going to use a Vision Card Select token. You can also get it from the Vision Card Select token if you have any left. I think it's going to be fine not having Aqua Killer. It's the only fight we're not going to have Killer, so there's one fight in the entire clear. Again, it may be a problem, it may not be. We'll find that out on Thursday. But yeah, the clear has no Aqua Killer whatsoever. and I don't see a reasonable way to fit Aqua Killer on this party other than using that vision card, which I don't want to spend a token to get because I want to wait and see next week first. But yeah, there's my build video for the upcoming Advent of Purgatory. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I'll hopefully be streaming it on Thursday. You can watch me fail and give me tips on how to fix it on Thursday morning. But this is plan A. If plan A works, we'll have a quick and short stream. Then we can spend some time chatting about, the status of Brave Exvius on the stream. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. See you on Thursday.